Okay, everyone, are you ready to sew out your potholder? I want to go over the supplies that I'm using as far as the fabrics and stuff with you. We're going to have our main strip of fabric, which is the white here. Okay, so you're going to need a strip for that. And the strip I have is 7 inches by, say 9 or 10 inches. And you also need some fusible SF101 or a lightweight interfacing on the back of that, okay? Because we're going to be doing stippling or a design on that, all right? So that'll be your center fabric right here. The next thing we're going to need is our fabric. Now I'm doing one in a cowl theme because I don't want 2 potholders the same, okay? Now this fabric is going to go all the way across the top of your potholder. So I usually make these fabrics whatever my hoop is. My hoop's an 8x8 here. So I would go ahead and cut a piece like that. And this is about a 9x9 piece of fabric for the one that's going to go completely over the top of your potholder, and it will do the 2 ends right here, and then you'll cut out the center part just like we do on the round table toppers. So that would be that one. Also, we're going to need our backing fabric. You know, when we put the backing fabric on, you know, where you put it on like that, okay, and then the other one's going to go the other direction like that and overlap. And this one is, you could do 9 inches across, and you would need this one here. I've got 12. You could probably get away with 10, 9x10 or a 9x12 folded over. Okay, so I have 2 pieces that are folded over for that. And I also put in some Insulbrite facing or batting on the back of this. It makes it really fluffy, makes it really nice. And I chose to put this in at the end when I'm doing the fold over for the backing, because I didn't want the design to be punch it all down. So this is put on the back of the hoop and just before we're sewing on our backing fabric. And also, now this piece here is about 8. It's about an 8x8. I hope it fits. We'll find out. And then I have a regular piece of batting that I'll use when we first start to sew. Now the first one here, I used 100% cotton. I used, let's see, what's the name? Warm and Natural. I used Warm and Natural 100% cotton on this one here. And the second one here, rather than open a whole new bag, I went ahead and just used the regular batting with the fusible. And I will put that facing up. All right. So that is everything that I have. And also I'm in an 8x8 hoop, and I have some no-show stabilizer in that. Okay. Now the first video we did our pattern. So you should have that in your embroidery file here. So you would want to go to your sewing machine. You'd go to embroidery, and then you would click on your sewing machine, and then you would pull your design up, and then you would click embroidery, and that would take you right into it to start your embroidery design here. So we're going to go color by color here. And the first color that we have on here is our red outline. And this is just going to be the batting placement line, but we're going to use it later, so we had saved it. So let's go ahead and do our outline here, and I'll go ahead and push the green button. Now I stopped my machine. I don't need a second pass on this, so I'm going to push the scissor button. Okay, as long as I have my outline there, I am going to go over to my machine here to the needle with the plus and the minus icon at the bottom. I'm going to push that. And then up at the top here, right under your red box up there, your red outline, it says red, and there's a button that is a down arrow, and we want to push that one time. And that comes up with your green color, and then go ahead and click OK. And that is our outline for our batting. Okay, so I'm going to put my batting on, just like that. I have the fusible side up. Now remember, the first one I didn't use the fusible. I used 100% cotton. It's better to use 100% cotton if you're going to use this as a hot pad or something, rather than a polyester batting. All right, let's go. All right, we need to trim our batting. So I'm going to take it out of the hoop a little bit here. I have my curved scissors. And I'm just going to go around this batting here to stand up. Now when you start cutting it, you're going to notice that this line is inside the first line that we did, and we did this on purpose so that our batting would not be in any sew line that we did. Turn this a little bit. And you can see in this corner down here, see how the batting's inside the outside line there. That's the way I wanted it when I did it. All right, the next color on your screen should be the purple, and it should be a box for your insert, your center insert, which would be the white here. Okay, so it's going to be that box right there. And if I put this in the middle, I can see where the machine is going to start. If I go to the plus minus button and I advance it 1 plus 1, that's where it's going to start. So as long as I lay my fabric up above And then the bottom here is close to the edge down here. It's going to be up here when it sews. And make sure that it's on the sides and you don't have to do your basting line. You just go ahead and stitch this. So let's go ahead and stitch it. Alright, that is done. Now another thing you might consider getting when you're using your fabrics here rather than kind of holding it with your hand there is get you a can of this Sulky temporary spray adhesive. And I buy the little can of Sulky, and what I do is before I lay the fabric down, I take it over here. I have a waste basket over here, and I just flip it up, the back side, and I just do a couple of squirts right here in the center of the fabric. Then when I come back over, then I press down on it, and that will hold your fabric really nice. Don't spray the whole thing with it, just a couple of little squirts in the center. Another thing you can use is a glue stick, just your regular Elmer's glue stick, washable, that you can get in a little tube there, and put a couple of glue swipes in the middle there, and that will hold your fabric also, so you don't have to use your hands and get your hands anywhere near that needle. You don't want any accidents on it. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is our stipple center. So it's going to start right there. I do have the same thread that I'm going to use for that. I put it in my machine to begin with. So let's go ahead and let this stipple. Didn't take very long for that stipple. Now I'm going to trim this like 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to leave the sides. I'm just going to trim it right down here and right down here, okay? So here we go. I'm going to there's one. I'm going to have to take it out of the hoop for the top one. Okay, so we have it trimmed like that. Now, if you're going to put a design on it, you need to do it now. And the design that I used, let me pull back on this camera. I know my machine isn't turned sideways so you can see it, but I want you to see how you get out of this. So if you didn't add your design at the time that you went ahead and did your potholder, then this is what you're going to have to do to put a design on here. Mine's kind of like an empty blank, and I can put whatever design I want to. So at this time, I would go ahead and hit return, and then I go to the home button up here. Let's see, pull it up there. Hit home button, delete the current pattern, yes. Okay, I have my design was on a USB. So I'm going to hit embroidery, and I'm going to hit the USB, which is right here. and it's going to pull up my lettering. Now the lettering I did in the middle of this is from We Love to Stitch. It's the collection of table placemats, and I purchased her set of designs. And I've sewn a couple of her placemats, but I mostly bought it for the lettering so that I could use the lettering. I thought it was really pretty. So if you want this lettering, you would have to purchase her designs. Just go on their website. And what I did was I went ahead and pulled up Bon Appetit, which is this one right here. Okay. There it is. Now I'm going to set it. Now I need to edit it. Okay, don't hit embroidery yet. I needed to edit it. I know it's in the center, and that's where we need to keep it. So I need to change the size of it. Now my hoop does not have the registrations up here on the top of the hoop, so I had to do this a little differently. I couldn't use my phone to scan it in so that it would show my hoop. So this is the way I got around that. Okay, so I went to edit, and I wanted to size it first. Don't rotate it first. Size it first. Push size. And you can see the two ends are sticking out there. So I want it smaller all the way around. So push this button here. Always have that one pushed so it regulates all the stitches. And you want it inside the size of this hoop. I think I went down even further. Let's see, right here. 2, 3, maybe 3 clicks. Okay, and now I went ahead and pushed center, and I pushed OK. Now we can go in and rotate it. So click rotate, rotate it 90 degrees. Okay, and it should still be in the center. Remember, this square we just did here, this square is centered. Okay, it's centered between these two right here. So now push your center button, push OK. Now you can go ahead and push embroidery. All right, now when you do this design, the one thing that comes up with these designs is a black outline around the design. See it in the square here, and you don't want to stitch that. So the easiest way is just bypass that. So go ahead and click your plus minus needle button, and we're going to advance it one color. Click the down arrow, and now we're on the orange. Now we're on the lettering. Okay, so you would go ahead and stitch out your first color, then you would go to your second color, and it would go ahead and stitch that out for you. Okay, I'm not going to stitch anything out today. This is just for showing you how to do that if you wanted to use this design. If you're using another design, then you would do the same thing and just pull in whatever design you want. So when I'm finished, I would push return. Do I want to delete this? Yes. Push the delete key. Push OK. And now you're back out of it. Okay, so you've done your design, and what you want to do is go back to finish the potholder. So you click the sewing machine, because that's where you have it saved. Mine is the first one up here. Click set. Okay, everything looks good. We're going to push embroidery down here. Now at this that point, it brings us back to our red line, which is the beginning. So we want to go to our needle up, needle down, plus minus button here. And we have to advance this machine to just past the stippling. Okay, so I'm going to push the down arrow. And you can see what is in the box up here. Here's the purple. Okay, we're almost there. All right, there's our stippling. We just finished that. Now go to the next color. Okay, and that's where you want to stop. Go ahead and click OK. All right, and you are ready for your next color. That brought you right back up to where you left off on this potholder. So the next thing we're going to do, is put our fabric over the top of this. Now this is where I'm going to spray this with a little bit of spray. All right, so I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to spray this with a little bit of the temp spray here. Going over to my trash can. I gave it a couple of squirts. Now what you can do also is you can go to your iron and you can iron this on with the fusible. So I'm going to put this on. Okay. I'm going to press down on it. Not too hard here. I don't have the machine base right there. And we are going to do an outline for the fabric here. We're going to make sure that we base this on, okay? So go ahead and push your start button. Now the next line is going to be where we have our center insert or the inner piece of fabric here. So go ahead and push start again. Now the next thing we do is we cut out this center piece here so that we expose our design. So for that I have a straight pin and I put it in the fabric, lift up the fabric, take the end of my snippies, and right where the end of the needle is, I go ahead and clip it so that I have a hole big enough to stick my scissor through there. And then I go ahead and snip right next to the line here. Keeps wanting to. There we go. You just cut close to your fabric, and you want to cut close to this edge over here. Let's go to the other edge over here. Let's see here. Go to the corner. Alright, now save. This is the inner piece here. Save these. I make coasters out of them, and when I give someone a topper or a potholder or something, then I just go ahead and give them a free topper too. I do that on my eBay store. Someone purchases a topper or something from me, I give a coaster to match free as a little gift to them for purchasing a topper. And they really like that. All right, this is trimmed close. Go ahead and cut off any strings that you have. You're going to I got a lot of strings on this fabric here. So let's go ahead and I'll just keep what I have in here, okay? So go ahead and push your go button. Alright, our candle wicking is done, and before I started the recording again, I went ahead and put an embroidery in here so it wouldn't look so bare, and I noticed that they do have on We Love to Stitch, they do have writing which says home. So to me, that seemed like a good choice because a lot of people live on farms and they have animals like this, and this would be very appropriate for them, and they would probably love a potholder that had farm animals on it. So I went ahead and did the embroidery, and I could still do that even after I put my candle wicking on. I just wanted to get all that on before I did my backing. Now there's a few things we need to do for this backing before we put that on, and one of the things we need to do is go ahead and put a little tab up here so that we can hang our potholder. And this was some twill. It's not lace or anything, it's just ribbon that I got whenever I ordered a Moda fat quarter pack, I believe. But I go ahead and save it, and I thought, oh, that would be really nice to put up in the corner here. Now what I do is I glue the, I glue the ends down here with a glue stick so that they stick together before I put it up there. And I like to use glue sticks. This one here is from Sew Line, and this one here is from Sue Daily. They use them when they do paper piecing. And what I like to do is go ahead and use one of these sticks here. And I like these because the glue sticks like right now. So I go ahead, let me move out of the way here, and I just run a little bit of it on the end here. It comes right off of the stick there. And then I fold it, and then I just press it, and it's already stuck. So I use these a lot when I need to stick something together or whatever. I like them a lot better than the Elmer's school kid, sticks that you get. Those, they're awful wide, and I find them cumbersome, and I like these a lot better. So what we want to do is we need to put our ribbon here in the corner before we lay our backing down, okay? And it has to come into the center so that when we fold it over, it's going to be like that. So you place it inside, and I just take a little tape here, and I have Kimberbell tape here. I just take a piece of that, and I just tape it on the outside here, like that, so that it's outside my stitch line there. And then I take a little piece and I tape it on the inside, as long as it's not going to get caught in the line there. Okay, and then just tape it right here. Okay, that's nice and taped down there. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to pull our hoop out, flip our hoop over, and this is the back side of your hoop. And some of you might not have done this before, but we're going to float our Insulbrite on the back here. See, I have a piece here, and this piece needs to be a little bit larger than what your outside perimeter is on this hot pad. And I'm just checking here to make sure it's going to stitch all the way around. Let's see, how far up are we on that? Let's try it this way. See how far we are. Yeah, that fits it better. I think that way. Just make sure it's going to stitch. I can come over this way a little bit. And what you want to do here is tape your corners, okay? Because when you put your hoop back in, those corners can flop up on you and you can have a mess there. So I'm going to tape that down. Now I had, let's see. Anyway, I purchased this little gray mat here. Okay, it's just like a mat we iron on, and you can put it under your hoop here, just like that. It's the correct size, and it helps whenever you're doing this sort of thing to where you won't get your there it is up there. I couldn't find it. Where you won't get your batting sunk in. And it gives you stability, see, to put your tape down. So I'm going to use that. I almost forgot I had it. Okay, and then when you get near the bottom here, then you just go ahead and move it down. You go right here. There we go. Now it's down here. Push that up a little bit so it'll be a little more stable. And then I can tape these corners. Unless my tape cooperates, it wants to tear down the center. You ever had that happen to you? It's very frustrating. All right, I'm going to tape this corner. And let's tape the other. All right. You don't want the tape or this pulling up on you when you put your hoop back in. All right, so we have that done. Okay, let me take this little pad out. Yeah, those are real nifty. Is just go ahead and press right where my tape is, just to be sure that it is going to stick in the corners. Right here, I use my machine. Make sure your machine base is right here when you do this. All right, so it doesn't misalign your other lines there. And then the next thing we need to do, okay, we have this. We have our Insulbrite taped to the back so that when I slide this in, it's not going to pull up a corner. Some of you might not have experienced that yet, but I've experienced it several times, and it's not fun. because this is the last step, and it can really mess up your last step when you go around. Okay, so remember, I'm right here. See, I'm right here in that hoop notch right there. That's the center, and you want your first piece of fabric to go in the center across there. Then that way, when you flip it over and turn it inside out, you'll have a piece of fabric that is right in the center. It looks really nice when you're wanting to give it to someone. It's not down here or up here and look wonky. Now this piece here, make sure your folds are on the end. And I just check to be sure that we are okay on the end here. And I just let it overlap whatever I have there. Okay, just as long as it's okay on the bottom. All right. Now let's go ahead and use our tape, and we want to tape the sides there, and we'll be ready to stitch this. You definitely want to tape your ends. Now some of you might not need to, but if you ever get your fold caught up in that presser foot going around, you'll change your mind. I have seen women in classes that did that. They had to take their foot off. Some of them had knocked their machines out of timing. They had to put them in the shop, and it's just not worth it to me. My Solaris is still in the shop. That machine's been down for 2 months. I'm sure glad I purchased this other machine. Okay, let's go ahead and put that in the hoop. Now I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to look underneath here, and you can pick it up just a little bit like that. Bend your head down and make sure that those edges didn't pop off. That tape didn't come off. Okay, I look good under there. I'm going to put my hook down. And we are on the yellow color. That's the last stitch on this potholder. And remember, this stitch that's going to stitch out now is the one we use to lay in our batting. So it is pulled in smaller than the outside stitch. And we did that for a purpose because I don't want anything we cut out. See how we have an edge right here? A raw edge. The stitch we're going to stitch is going to come out past that so that we don't see that raw edge on there, okay? At least we hope not. It didn't show up on the first potholder that I did, so I think we'll be okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to use the same green. Now, I'm not going to stop my machine to go over the tape, I don't think. Let's see how it works. I might stop it and I might not. Okay, let's go ahead and let it roll here. And we all know that sound. Now I'm going to flip it over. Okay, look at the back here. Let's see, let's put that back up. Okay, and you can see that my ink's so bright, it covered everything. That's a relief. Hey, boy, tape really sticks to that. It's so bright. Okay, take this off. Take that one off. Now what I did at this point was go ahead and trim this Insel Bright. You can't see me down here. Let's see, I'm down here. Now you can see me a little bit. Trim it right up next to the line there. It won't trim very well. I slide it right up under my hoop there just a little bit so it'll hold it for me. That works pretty good for me. Alright, we've trimmed our Insel Bright up here, and as you can see, it is inside all right. Now I have pinking shears. See the pinking shears? I use these to trim everything. So let's go ahead and go around with the pinking shears. Make sure you get a good setup or a good pinking shear. Gloria has some real nice ones. I think she sells the Kai pinking shears. You want one that is easy on your hands. I think I have a Fiskars. These are Fiskars, I think. They've been really nice. I used to have one set, I think they were the Giener, and I couldn't even press down on them and then pull back up. They were so tight and heavy. You know, you have to have a lightweight pinking shear, because it's hard pushing down on these shears. Okay, here we go. Right. Now we'll put that down. Go. Now I'm going to turn it inside out, and I stick my thumb in the corner like that, and I pull this one out, and then stick my thumb in the next corner right there and pull through. That kind of gets the corners for you. You can hear that Insel Bright. Hear it? Now the next corner, pull it through. Now the next corner, do the same thing. There we go. Okay, here's our tape. You know what? I taped that, didn't I? Yeah. It's probably still in here. I don't think I can. Yeah, because the Insel Bright will cover it up. Oh, well. Might have some tape in there. How funny. Okay. Now I have this little turning tool. This one right here. You get that on Gloria's website too. And I run it all around like this. Pick that up. Run it all the way around, especially in the corners. Because you want those corners to be nice and rounded. It makes it easier when you go to iron this. Okay, now feel a little, the Insel Bright, it will want to maybe pucker a little once this is finished, so you have to kind of maneuver it a little bit, especially when you get ready to iron it. Okay, let's go this direction. All right, I'm going to check the edges. No raw edges. Let's see, can you see? No raw edges right here. So that worked out to stitch it on that padding line. See, no raw edges over here. Candle widthing's fine. Yes, look how puffy these are. Feel that? I mean, hear that? That's what was amazing to me, was the puffiness. Look at that, of the Ansel Bright. That's great. And then you have your little hanger there. Well, I think this turned out really cute. And then what you would do is you would turn your fabric back like this. Okay, like that. So that you can't see the back fabric from the front. But if you match it with your fabric on the front, you don't notice it as much. Okay, and you kind of mash this all down before you iron it. Okay, and then you iron it. Use a press cloth. Okay, let me show you. And the press cloth I have, it's just a piece of white fabric I bought years ago. And I just cut off a section. So I put this on the ironing board. Once I get everything situated, I iron the edges first. Iron your edges. Okay. Then iron your back. Then when you iron the front, put your press cloth over your embroidery. And then go ahead and iron it on the top. I always use a press cloth if I have embroidery on. Okay. And the key to these, had several people ask me, everything looks so nice when I have the photos up there. And a really good friend taught me years ago, because her stuff looks so nice when she would finish it. And she says, you have to iron, Jan. You got to iron, Jan. Alter your steps if you're doing certain things. So that taught me that in order to have things look really nice, you have to iron them, okay? You have to iron them to where, let's take this one here. This one's already been ironed, so it's nice. It's ready to go on eBay. Everything is flat. It looks nice and crisp. I have the steamer seam that I put in here so that it would close this here. It's already been ironed on. And when you're putting that on, make sure you take your hands and pull in the sides like this so that it pulls up that edge along here, and it helps it keep it where it's supposed to be. And pull it in like that, and then put your strip in, and then go ahead and iron it down. I think I have a video that shows how I put that strip in if you want to look at that. But that way it makes it look really nice. Then it doesn't look homemade. It looks more professional. And I've seen other people on eBay that have made things and they don't even iron them. I mean, you're looking at something to buy and it's all wrinkly and buckled. And I go, oh gosh, I could never put something like that up online to sell. That's just not the way I am. So do yourself a favor and make sure you iron everything and get it nice and pressed so it looks really professional. Okay, and I just have one of those Panasonic irons that's on Gloria Horns, one of those cordless irons. I love that little thing. It's lightweight, it's cordless. They have a new one out now that doesn't shut off for 2 hours. This one here shuts off in like 10 minutes, so I have to keep turning it on and off when I get up from my machine here. All right, everyone, there's your pot holders. I hope you make lots of them. And let me see what you're making. I want to make sure that I'm doing these videos to where you can follow them and actually go ahead and create the projects. Okay, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share it with other people. And drop me a comment. Let me know how you did in sewing out your little pot holders or toppers or whatever we're doing. Thank you so much. And until next time, bye for now and take care.